You're listening
You're listening
You're listening
to another episode
of the FreshTakes
podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Fresh Takes podcast. I am your host, Tim, alongside my two co-hosts, Tank and Pat. And, it's been a wild weekend in the football era. You know, Cowboys players are blind, Giants players aren't allowed to leave Germany because we don't want them back, and Eagles are on top of the division again.
You know, our NFC East standings are eerily looking like our fantasy standings lately, but boys, what's going on with y'all?
Dude, we're in a league that doesn't trade.
pretty
The
much.
only people that trade is Chris and I don't want to keep sending him trades, and people think that we're trying to coerce together.
Well, are we?
Look, dude, I think the last 2 years I have like gypped you on trades. Like I have gotten so much good out of trades from you the last 2 years, and this year you got payback with Eckler and Chase Brown. Because I got Devonta Smith who puts up less than 10 points every week. Who else did I get from you?
You gave me Brandon Cooks.
Yeah,
I
well,
remember, and that bit me in the butt.
yeah. Oh, and then I got Kincaid from you who hasn't done anything either.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. It's the only thing I will say is I luckily got rid of Carson Steele one game after his start for Chuba Hubbard, and that's probably like my steal of this year.
Oh yeah. Hands down.
Because if we do 4 keepers again, I'm definitely keeping Chuba next year.
Oh man, I like 3. I say keep 3, not 4. It's
I don't know. It's some people say 3, some people say 4, and then we fluctuate. I think if it wasn't for Pat asking to add an extra flex this year, I'd be in a lot better of a boat.
yeah.
I think that's
Well,
what
I
hurt.
I say we
I
start playing 2 QBs instead of 2 flex.
no,
No,
Superflex sucks.
no.
Superflex sucks. I hate that. But the only reason I said the extra flex is because we kept the 4th, and I was like, we're keeping all these people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or we pick up an actual defensive player. Like you pick up a defense.
No,
and
I played defense last year, and it is awful. I will not do defense.
I kind of like it.
No, we did
Because
it.
I have Fred Warner
Honors.
and I have Fred Warner and another defense, and like Fred Warner blows out my own defense, and I'm like, hey, he's giving me extra points. I'll take it.
Yeah, no. But yeah, it's definitely something we'll all have to get together and talk about next year. I definitely would like to have some people that are willing to do trades and stuff. You know, unlike the people who are normally the last 3 who just don't care about their lineups anymore. Like, last week I lost to Tyler who set his lineup last second, and then this week Tyler doesn't set his lineup at all and gets absolutely smoked. So, why couldn't he have not set it last week so I could have won? But hey, no fear. I'm not out of it yet. Last year, the 2 years ago that I won the championship, I was 7-7. Right now I'm 3-7, so I just got to roll out.
I think about what, 5-5?
Yeah, you're 5-5. Pat's came back, and I think he's in like 3rd place now.
No.
5th.
I was 2nd last week. I dropped to 5th because I can never beat Grady.
And I always beat Grady.
And I'll play Terry this week, so I think points wise I can't go lower than
No, Tank, you're
6th.
7th. You're out
Am I
now.
7th?
Yeah, you're out now.
Yeah, you dropped out.
Hey, Grady took 6. You're out. You and I are on the cusp. So I need to win out to try and make it in, and I play you next week. Not this coming week, but next week.
Yeah.
And I think
this week,
my good players are out against you. think. Well, I have a good bit of them have already been out, and then this week, of course, Chubba Hubbard's out. Last week Kenneth was
Hey Pat,
out.
hey Pat, we need to conspire together and get me back into the playoffs and just forget about him over there.
Uh, send me a worthwhile trade.
Pat, I'll give you Tyreek Hill.
I'll give you my whole team.
Yeah. Tyreek might not be one of my keepers if we do three keepers. I think I might keep Kenneth, Chubba, and Justin and let Tyreek walk. I don't know. Tyreek's kind of upsetting me. I think I would still be in the race if Mike Evans never got hurt.
Oh yeah.
I think if Mike Evans doesn't go down, I'm like, what is it, 3-7? I think I'd be like 5-5 by now. But all right, let's just go ahead and jump into it. In or we out? First one of the night. The Steelers look way better with Russell Wilson than they did with Fields.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm in. I'm in.
That's what I was thinking. I'm in. I'm
My
in on
main
that.
thing is yes, they were winning with Fields, but it was with field goals. With Russ, they're getting into the end zone. Like I felt like there were so many games that Fields was only getting them field goals.
I also feel I think Fields is a better runner. I'm not saying Russell can't run, but I feel Fields can run the ball better, but Russell can throw the ball better. So if you could combine the top half of Russell and the lower half of Justin Fields, I think you would probably have a decent all around QB.
You would have Lamar
That's just
Jackson.
true.
Wouldn't be that good. They wouldn't be that good.
No, I
No,
think
but
it's definitely when Justin's pressured, he runs to just get away from it. When Russ is pressured, he avoids it and still finds time to find a receiver. And that's why if you look at it, I think Russ is already at like the stats of where Fields was. And I think Russ has only played 3 games.
Also, just like I don't know. I guess all NFL quarterbacks, if you look at every single throw they make, there's a lot of them. But some of these throws that Russ is making are just like put like it's hard to think that many people can make these throws. He's putting them exactly where his people need to
Oh
adjust
yeah.
to him, or what. Like,
oh,
there's
yeah.
no chance anyone else is intercepting it. Only his guys
But
getting
you
it.
also got to think. I mean, he's been in the league for how long? So I mean, he has that mentality already. I'm not saying that let's put it out there. Caleb Williams, Aiden Daniels, these rookies aren't doing the same thing as they are. But
Not
you also,
Caleb.
like I said, but you know what I'm saying. Like
I'm saying
putting
Caleb's not
like
throwing it to where the defense can't get to it.
but do you know what I'm saying? Though, like
Yeah.
the rookies are still doing it, but Russell is doing it more, a lot better than the rookies because of the time he's been in the league. That's what I was trying to get at.
All right. Next one. The Sam Darnold era is over. I'm not
I'm,
saying like he's
I'm
going to be benched or like they're going to move on from him after this year. I'm talking about week 1 through 6 Sam Darnold is not the Sam Darnold we're going to get the rest of the year.
oh, I'm definitely in on that.
I would
He
say
was he was
the
no.
3 interceptions in the red zone on Sunday makes me feel like Sam Darnold, his hype is done.
Oh, I
Well,
agree.
I
Pat, if you're gonna
mean,
tell me a 12-7 victory of 4 field goals,
that's what I'm saying though. Is like even, and I don't know if these are on your in and outs, but like jump into the other game where a pretty good quarterback threw 5 interceptions, and it's like that team still won. And even
yeah, but
though
that
he had this
quarterback still
one,
threw a touchdown though.
yeah, but it's like even though he has this one performance, I don't think that next week, just because the last 3 game slide for the Vikings or whatever, I don't think Sam Darnold's going to go out and just poop the bed now. I think he's still going to.
I don't know. I'm more of looking at it last week, 3 interceptions in the red zone. Against the Colts, he had 2 interceptions in the red zone. I mean,
I,
the guy's
I,
getting to the point where he can't finish a drive. And I think it's been 4 weeks now that Jefferson hasn't gotten a touchdown.
I think Sam Darnold will still help lead the team to a playoff uh, bound victory. Um, but again, like you said, we won't see Sam Darnold like we saw him in the first 6 weeks of the season, where he was miraculous. He was doing phenomenal, and we were like, maybe it wasn't him. It was just the system that he was in. And what?
When did TJ Hawkinson come back?
Last week.
And look at Sam ever since.
Maybe it's Hawk.
It's hot.
I don't know. I think this week Hawkinson had like 9 catches.
Yeah, none in the red zone with a touchdown.
I think the
But
biggest thing, since Hawkinson has came back, he goes to tight ends more. So maybe that is it. Because when Hawkinson wasn't there, he was mainly going to receivers, and they were scoring. He was getting far down on passes. Now that Hawkinson's here, he's going little short passes across the middle. All right, you might be onto something there,
maybe.
Pat. Maybe next week, in or we out, bench Hawkinson. All right, next one. Despite being undefeated, the Chiefs look worse this year than they did last.
Oh, 100% in on that one. I feel that this year, honestly, you can't touch the Chiefs or you're getting flagged. I feel that the team just all around, they're not playing to the potential that they should be. And even though they're 9-0, 10-0, and they're winning the way they're winning, I don't feel like they're the team that was like last year.
I don't know. I think
I
when one player starts to do better, another player lacks in that. Because I think it started out with Rashee Rice looking really good. Actually, it started out with Worthy looking good. And then Worthy started doing bad and Rice looked good. Then Rice got hurt and now Kelsey looks good, but Mahomes looks bad. I think it's like a factor. When one of them's really good, another key player is really bad.
I I think overall they honestly look like a better team though, because this entire undefeated run, their offense has only clicked for one full game, like where they've looked to their full potential without Pacheco. The I feel like if they had Pacheco the whole year, their offense wouldn't have looked as bad or as strong
Yeah.
because they would have ran it through him, and they
I
kind of
feel
had
like
to
their defense is.
improvise. Their defense is great. Their defense is
I would
why
say
they're
the
undefeated.
defense is what's
Their
helping them
special
win
teams
this.
actually is why they're undefeated because of yesterday. But yeah,
I
I
think
think because their offense is lackluster and they're undefeated, they're better.
I think the biggest thing for why people are thinking that they look worse is yes, they're undefeated, but 8 out of the 10 wins have all been off of one score. And it's like last second they win that
Yeah.
game.
Mhm.
Because I mean, there was the overtime against Tampa. There was the block field goal this week. There was the toe tap against the Ravens. There was the penalty call against the Bengals. There was the no call against the Falcons. So it's all
Yeah.
one score, and they're barely doing it except for against the Saints when they blew them out of the water. But even then, the Saints started to come back. So I
I
don't know.
agree.
I think that they look worse this year. You know, I still think that there's the possibility of them making the Super Bowl because, if you're 10-0, there's no chance of you not having a chance at the Super Bowl. But I mean, we
I mean,
also
you have a
saw
fluke
what
game.
the Steelers go 11-0, lose the next 6, and then went straight into the playoffs and lost.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
the
So I
Eagles
mean,
last year,
oh yeah, the Eagles
yeah,
were undefeated for a while last year, and then they got out
they had
first
like
round
they lost 6 of their last 7, and
yeah.
yeah,
and lost the division too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. You can be undefeated and then just crap the bed because the Cardinals that year when the Cardinals were like 11-0, lost the
Yeah.
last six, and then the very first game they lost in the playoffs.
All
So,
right. Yeah.
all right, next, in Are We Out? Despite the loss, the Commanders are still the best contenders to win the NFC East.
I'm in on that,
I'm
and it's
not.
nothing against the Eagles.
I, the only reason I'm out is because how close they were both times against the Giants, and how if a team is over 500, the Commanders are 0-3 against them. So the Commanders are only beating teams that are under 500. So
Yeah,
that's how
that's
I look at it. They can't beat a positive team right now. They lost to the Ravens, lost to the Steelers, lost to the Buccaneers. Yes, you can scratch the Buccaneers loss out because it was week one. Jaden Daniels was still getting his footing and everything. And I mean, they got blown out by Tampa. But I mean, they kept it close against Baltimore. They kept it close against Pittsburgh. Honestly, should have beat Pittsburgh. But, we're not going to get into that call.
Yeah,
But
I think
I think how the Eagles have played the last two games with injuries that they've had, they still look better than what they had at the beginning of the year. Granted, the Jaguars coming back, but I mean the whole Dallas game, they looked really good. But it's like we said, like time after time, they need to rely more on Saquon. And I think Philly could end up taking the division.
I have a feeling that this is going to be the surprise year like Dallas had with Dak, and I just think that this year that I'm not trying to take anything away from Philly because Philly's playing balling this year. I feel like they're playing good, even like you said, with the injuries that they have, they are playing a decent team or playing decent this year. But I'm not. I can't take it away from Washington because I feel like they're going to be that surprise team that they're going to turn it around and they're playing like you said the close games that they're having with the teams that they're having. It's going to help them propel to take the NFC East title. That's just my opinion.
I don't remember. Have the Eagles played the Steelers or Ravens yet?
No.
Yeah. So that's another thing. Like, uh, I don't blame the Commanders for losing to the Ravens or the Steelers because those are two great teams. I honestly think both of those teams could beat the Eagles.
Oh, I definitely
Therefore,
think Baltimore's going to beat the Eagles.
therefore giving Washington a little edge there. Like they would have the same two losses. Like, but it's tough. Philly's playing really good ball right now. Even with Saquon kind of having a quiet game, Jalen Hurts kind of took over and was like, all right, I'll throw the ball well. And then after that early fumble and whatnot, they just kind of ran away with it. Their defense looks really, really good. Although it was against two very incompetent quarterbacks. I don't know what happened to old Red Rocket Rush there, but oof.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a bet in for Philly to win the division, so I'm hoping Philly takes it. But
Well, of
well,
course, for your bet,
I
but
think we'll find out Thursday a better answer to this
Yeah,
question
true.
because I think whoever wins Thursday is winning the division.
I didn't even
But
think about that. I
I
forgot
think I think what's really helpful to them right now is the loss of Dak because I think that they both can easily exploit two wins right there off of Dallas and where they're at, unless Dallas puts in Lance and something turns around. But I would say that Philly has an easy chance against New York. But hey, if New York puts in Drew Lock, we don't know. Because Drew Lock was a monster among men whenever Gino went down last year. That's all I'm going to say. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, on to your guys' favorite segment of the week. That catch that with Tank. Take it away, Tank.
Welcome to this week's episode of That Catch, though. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of That Catch, though. I got 3 nominees, 1 honorable mention, and I will get right into honorable mention. Is honestly probably going to be classified as bias, but it was the only thing that I thought was phenomenal of the Dallas Cowboys Philadelphia Eagles game, and that was on Diggs' interception zone. So my honorable mention goes to Trayvon Diggs. Now we'll get right into my honorable or my actual nominees. My first one goes to none other than the Los Angeles Rams, Cooper Kupp. Here's the video.
They're down in 5. Kupp. What a catch!
Video number 2 comes from none other than the Washington Commanders, Terry McLaurin. Here's the video.
Daniels puts it high in the air, over the shoulder.
And my third nominee comes from none other than the Pittsburgh Steelers, George Pickens. Here's the video.
Wilson hooks a pass, looking, end zone!
Well, you saw all 3 videos, and the winner of the catch, though, for this week is none other than George Pickens. Congratulations.
Way to go, George. What was that, 2 weeks in a row he's been nominated now?
I think it was Ben, yeah.
So, all right, we're going to jump in.
Have you noticed that I have not given it to the same player twice this year so far?
I don't think I have either.
You didn't give it to, what's his name?
Derrick Henry.
I don't think I've given it to him twice, though. I think I've nominated him every week.
By saying I can't give it to Derrick Henry every week.
Well, I think after today's episode, I will have given the victory to somebody twice. So
Derrick Henry.
We'll get to it. Well, I don't think Derrick Henry on his 64 yards this game is going to win it. But,
no, I think it might be someone who maybe played the same team earlier in the year
and had almost the same amount of yards. But all right, we got our last 4. Are we in or we out? And then we'll get to that. So this one, it's kind of 2-parter because it's going to be 2 in or outs. But I'm saying it's 2-parter because it involves the same team. So the first one is that the Jets should have kept Zach Wilson. Because if you think about it, last year at this time, Wilson had more wins than what Aaron Rodgers has, and Zach Wilson had less help than what Aaron Rodgers has.
I want to say I'm in, actually. Aaron's just this year is I don't think I've ever seen Aaron play this horrible. I understand he's coming back from what it was an Achilles tear. I understand he's coming back from that. I understand he's coming back from an injury, but he's just.
That's why I would have kept Zach Wilson, because I think Rodgers rushed this injury way too fast. Since he wanted to try and be back by the end of last year, he definitely messed something up and made it so that he's not ready to be played yet. And I think that they could really benefit from a second half quarterback change when they're down 27-3 and need somebody in there just to be in there.
Who is their backup?
Tim Boyle, I think. Mike White. I know Mike White is one, but I don't remember who the other one is. Actually, Mike White might have went to Miami.
I think Tim Boyle did too.
Says their QBs right now is Aaron Rodgers. Backup is Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, that's Tyrod.
And then Jordan Travis.
And Jordan Travis is a rookie.
I had no idea Tyrod was up there.
Dude, Tyrod, I mean, he did good for the Giants last year with Danny going down. I don't know. I would say at this point, you might as well put Tyrod in. Tyrod at least has 1 or 2 wins under his belt every year, no matter where. No matter what he's doing, he's got at least 1 or 2 wins.
So I think, in a way, the Jets kind of win-lose by getting rid of Wilson and bringing in Rodgers. Led to the firing of Saleh, which they needed to go anywhere. So Maybe next year.
And I don't think that they should have fired Saleh yet.
They should have fired him maybe after his first year.
I don't know. I mean, with him there this year, they were winning. They were what 2-3 when they fired Saleh, but I mean, now they're 3-7, 3-6. They don't look good without him.
No, they don't.
No.
They don't.
All right.
A coach that needs to be fired is Mike McCarthy. Sorry, I had to get that out.
We'll go to the next one with this team. Going on to Rodgers. Are we in or we out? Rodgers won't be back at the end of the year and will retire. I'm going to say I'm out on this because I don't think he wants to end on a season like this.
That's what I'm thinking. That he doesn't want to end on this, but I mean,
I saw something today that was like Rodgers should have made it that his last game was that one against the Lions when he almost won the game, and then the last picture was him walking off the field with Randall Cobb. And now, people are going to remember him as being the guy who went to the Jets and played 4 seconds of his first year and then completely lost it in his second year.
how did Favre do when they traded?
Favre was awful. He went to the Minnesota first, and he did decent at Minnesota, right? Oh no, he went to the Jets first.
No, he went to the Jets because Green Bay wouldn't allow him to sign with Minnesota, so that's why he had to go to another team first.
Well, I remember that when he was on the Jets, he was awful.
Okay,
and then he retired, right? And then he came out of retirement to play for the Vikings.
Is that what it was? I thought he went to Minnesota then retired. I mean, he did retire twice.
I would say he retired twice because I think he went to.
I thought he retired after Green Bay, then he signed with the Jets, and then he went to the Minnesota, then retired. I thought that was his 2 retirements.
And then he did that weird.
Oh well, he retired 3 times.
Right? Yeah.
It shows that he retired after the Packers, came out of retirement and went to the Jets. Retired, came out of retirement and went to the Vikings.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know he retired after the Jets. I thought he just went there for 2 years and then went out to Minnesota.
No,
I knew he retired after
March 2008. He retired from the Green Bay Packers. And then in February of 2009, he retired from the New York Jets. And then in 2010, he retired from the Minnesota Vikings. So he retired after every season.
But I mean, is Rodgers trying to follow his footsteps? Is my thing.
Well, I mean, Rodgers at least lasted 2 years at New York.
I mean, there might be a QB opening in Minnesota next year.
No, they're going to rely on McCarthy.
They're going to stay with JJ. I was going to say they're going to stick with JJ McCarthy up there.
No. You
wouldn't
bring in Justin Jefferson for a year?
No.
I don't care how long I would have to rest JJ McCarthy. I would do that in a heartbeat.
I don't know. Off of how Rodgers been playing, I don't know if I would do that.
Well, they saw how bad Favre was playing and still brought him in.
Well, that is true. So, all right. Are we in or we out? The Panthers still have a chance in making the playoffs.
Ew, wow.
Hey, they're on a 2-game win streak.
Yeah,
I don't care if that 2-win streak came against the high school team that they play out there. But no, they do not have a chance of making playoffs.
I thought that was a pretty funny thing I saw on Twitter that people were saying that they still could make it.
Mathematically.
The only reason I said that is because
you
got them winning, the Falcons losing, the Buccaneers losing, and then the Saints are the Saints.
But so I mean, they would have to win the rest of the season.
Pretty much, yes.
And
well, no, they could lose one more.
No.
Well,
teams have gone 9-8 and went to the playoffs as winning the division.
I get that, but
Giants were 7-9 and beat undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl. So you never know.
No,
they would need no more than one loss and a lot of help from their in-division rivals.
Yeah. A lot of ties.
Yeah.
All right. The last in or way out, and I saved the last one for best just for Tank. At the end of the year, Dallas will fire McCarthy and hire Deion Sanders.
He looks torn.
Are we in or we out? Dallas has a chance of being in the top 5 picks. Could they get Shadur? Could they get Travis Hunter? Would Deion want to stay there to coach one of them? Or does the Raiders get first pick? They take Shadur, they fire Antonio Pierce, and Deion goes there.
I'm out. I don't see Deion coming to coach for Dallas.
I would say my thing is I'm in, but I'm out. I'm in that they're going to fire McCarthy. I'm out that they're going to replace him with
that part
Deion.
I'm in on.
I don't think they're going to get Deion. But I saw a thing of Deion's best landing spots would either be the Giants or the Cowboys. And I don't think the Giants would take him. I don't think the Giants are going to get rid of Daboll. Despite how bad he's been the last 2 years, the owner seems to be in love with him and Joe Shane. So,
Boy, when the Giants finished with the first overall pick and the reality of getting Hunter and Deion Sanders at the same time.
yeah.
I mean,
well, I saw a thing that the Giants, if they get first pick, they will go with Travis Hunter and tank another year so that the next year they can get Arch Manning.
I don't think you all deserve. I'm not saying deserve. I don't think you all really should go after Arch Manning.
I want Quinn Ewers.
Hear me out real quick. The reason why I say do not go for Arch Manning, you already had one man. Let him have his legacy. Why, if you bring in Arch Manning, you're going to make a rookie try to live up to Manning's legacy, and you can't. I feel you cannot go into drafting somebody who you're going to kind of have to put onto his shoulders that you got to live up to Eli's legacy. You can't do that.
I know. I would give Arch an AFC team so that you have Peyton and Arch as the AFC guys and Eli and Archie as the NFC guys. This is my opinion.
But no, I'm in with
I think Aaron Rodgers stays another year, and then the Jets tank again with Aaron Rodgers, and they take Arch Manning.
That would be bad. But no, like I said, I'm in with McCarthy out. I don't see Dallas going for Deion.
But that's home to Deion. Deion the Cowboy.
Are you trying to be like Jameis Winston and eating the W's?
I was going to say, Pat, you eating W's, rubbing it in Tank's face.
I mean, hey.
Pat, in or out?
On that?
Yeah. You think Deion goes to Dallas?
No, I'm kind of out there. I think there are too many head coaching availabilities still that haven't been hot. Like, there's at least 11 good candidates out there. You want to say there's probably only going to be 7 or 8 jobs.
Yeah,
I think something
Ben
about
Johnson
Chicago trying to get Ron Rivera as head coach.
I've seen something about that.
He's back. Riverboat Ron's back in the talk.
There's talk of Eberflus getting knocked down to their OC and Riverboat taking over his head.
You want to talk about replacing a pot with a pan?
So if that's everything, we're going to take it.
Well, no, hold on. I want to hit one more. I want to go back on the whole Deion and all that. Let's throw in or we out part B. Deion becomes an NFL coach. Are we in or we out? Does he stay in Colorado or does he come to the NFL?
He comes to the NFL.
Especially because of the whole Shadur and Travis thing, he's going to come to the NFL.
That's what I'm saying. I have a feeling because of them coming, he's coming.
Yeah. So if
but I mean, it also depends on what team gets them and if they need a coach.
Yeah.
And because I don't think, say the Raiders are like all in on Antonio Pierce. There's not a problem going on in there. And they draft Shadur. And they refuse to get rid of Antonio Pierce just because of Deion. like I don't think Dion is then going to step down from Colorado to watch Shadur play. I think he might find a spot in the Raiders coaching staff, but he's not going to be like, tell Antonio to step down. I'm taking it.
Yeah. No, I see that part, yes. But I'm just saying I have a feeling that if a team needs the coach and that they take him, he's coming.
I think he even if he doesn't go NFL, he might interview. But I think after this year, if his prime people leave, which they will, he'll go to a more prestigious college school.
Please come to
LSU might
LSU. Get
have
rid of Brian
LSU
Kelly.
might have an
Say,
opening.
get rid of Brian Kelly.
LSU,
I would love to have Dion at LSU.
I think that would be pretty special. I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know.
But
All
all
right,
right,
we'll
ladies and
cut it
gentlemen, we're
here.
gonna
Do you not read the chat?
No, I don't.
Hey, I said cut after this. But all
Oh.
right. We'll
Well then I'm gonna have to call us back.
if it doesn't let me, then yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take it to the other guy that you all like, Tim, who has have a day. Take it away.
Well, thank you, Tank, for that beautiful intro to my have a day. But this is gonna be a little
I
different,
try.
you guys. This is gonna be a little
Uh-oh.
different. You know how I usually have three nominees?
He's nominating the whole team.
No, actually, I just threw away the
Yes.
nominees because there's not even a point for having any nominees. There's just one clear winner. But I will give an honorable mention as an LSU fan. This one hurts to say, but Jalen Milroe just rolled all over LSU, 4 rushing touchdowns, like 190 yards. So hey, even though you're not in the
What happened
NFL,
there?
so, you're not in the NFL, you get your honorable mention. But 11 catches, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, and his second victory this year. Jamar Chase, have a day.
Dude, he was just unstoppable for Baltimore. They can't stop Jamar
Yeah.
Chase. But it's
Chase is
sad
definitely
that.
like the top receiver in the league right now.
But my thing is, how can they? How can Joe Burrow have 9 touchdowns, like 800 yards, 900 yards, and be 0-2 against them?
It's Cincy's defense.
Yeah, just come down to it sucks.
I would say Cincy has a bad defense. I think that Cincy would be one of the top teams in the AFC right now if it wasn't for their defense. Because how many games have they lost close to the end because of the defense? How many times have they given up so many points but have put up so many themselves and they still lost because of that defense? I mean,
Yeah,
what? Burrow
true.
was practically perfect the night against the Commanders, and they still lost because Cincy's defense gave up 49 points.
It's bad. So
Say, Burrow has the most passing yards in the league. I think he's like third
but
with
honestly, he only
touchdowns.
with the passing yards when I shared it, he only has like 5 more yards than Lamar Jackson. Only 5. I'm pretty sure it's only 5. Let me look it up again. So the top 5 passing yards is Joe Burrow at 2,672, Lamar Jackson at 2,669. So that's 3 more yards than Lamar Jackson. And then you have Kirk Cousins at 2,634, Geno Smith at 2,560, and Baker Mayfield 2,505.
You know what I hear at Olu?
What?
Lamar Jackson's the only one with the winning team.
No.
No, Baker has. Don't they?
What's
I,
Seattle's
I,
record?
I think the Falcons have a winning record.
Oh, Kirk. I didn't hear Kirk in
Yeah,
there.
and I think the Buccaneers are even.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
yeah, I would say
So
Cousins. The Falcons are
Yeah.
6-4.
But I'm saying most of the time, passing
Falcons
yards
are
leaders
6-4. Bucks are 4-6.
Teams that need to come back.
yeah. I couldn't believe it when I saw Lamar had that many yards passing this year because I was like, I just said that Jared Goff deserved an MVP over this guy. What the hell am I thinking?
And then Goff throws 5 interceptions.
That's why I said it, Lamar. You're welcome.
It's like the reverse of my things where I complain about a guy and he does good. Pat praises a guy and he does awful.
Well, I'm not going to do anything. I guess I need to start bad mouthing my players on my fantasy, so maybe they do great. I mean,
Yeah, Travis Etienne, you bum. Even though you're still gonna sit on my bench.
Big's gonna stay
Worst
on my bench
draft pick
too.
this year. Absolute worst draft pick.
I don't know who my worst one is.
I don't know.
Uh,
But let's take it over to Pat for his preview of his power rankings. And
all right, Pat, you
before
had this
the
whole
episode
time. You had
started,
this whole
we
time. I
talked
want to know
about
32.
Giants.
I want to know 32. Because if I had it my way, I'd honestly put Dallas. I'm not going to lie. I'd put Giants at 31.
Dude, you all are forgetting the Titans.
You know,
Titans at 31B.
I put in
I,
Titans 32, Jacksonville 31.
y'all are forgetting just because they had a bye week. It's Cleveland.
See, I still put Cleveland like 30. I'm definitely putting 32 Titans, 31 Jags, 30 Cleveland, 29 the Raiders, and then possibly the Giants at 28. But
I
I
don't
still
know.
Wow,
kind of
I
want
don't
to
how
put
we
know.
the
different
I
side?
want to put the Jets at 28.
I don't know why you're so eager to put the Titans so far down and put the Giants so far up.
Because I think the Giants have more of a team than the Titans.
They have more flash, but do they have more results?
They have better stats. Giants are the top
Um,
5 defense in the league right now.
Defense. I'm pretty sure Mason Rudolph is a little bit better than Daniel Jones.
Well, then maybe they should play Mason Rudolph instead of Will Levis every week.
Well, I'm pretty sure uh, Will Levis might be a little bit better than Daniel Jones too.
I don't know, man. All I'm hearing is the Titans are 2-2 with Mason Rudolph and 0-5 with Will Levis, and they're gonna keep putting Will Levis out there.
It's what the Colts are
Uh,
going to start doing with Anthony Richardson. You got to get some play time here and there, even though you suck.
Yeah,
Um,
like I want the Giants to put in Drew Lock for the next 3 weeks, get Daniel pissed off, and then win the rest of the season.
man can dream.
uh,
Um,
all right, do we have any mix up in the top 10?
Well, here's my major question for you, Pat.
yeah.
After the top 2 teams' performances this week, are they flopping? Are they switching?
Was there a flop? No, because one, yeah, ugly win for the Chiefs. I think the Lions win shows more grit, a full second half comeback, even with all the
19
interceptions.
unanswered.
Yeah, I think that's still good. So no overtaking of number one from the undefeated team. Seems kind of weird to have them at number two. It still feels weird, but there is maybe the other number three team that was there last week. Definitely took a little tumble.
Ooh. Who's that? Baltimore?
Washington.
Washington. Well, I mean, when you lose,
Yeah. When you lose and a lot of the other top 10 wins, you're gonna tumble a little bit.
say you're gonna fall.
I was gonna say, do they fall out of the top 10 or are they staying?
Oh no.
I say I
Not
don't
that
think 7 other teams have been better than the Commanders.
They here's a throwback to our first in or out, or maybe second. They are still above the Eagles in my power rankings,
Okay.
even with the loss. So right now, I still have them favored a little bit. We'll see what Thursday night brings. And the rest, 9 and 10 is just so pointless right now.
Yeah, I feel like you bring somebody in who's either sitting at 8, 9, or 10, and then the next week they're out.
Yeah, there's no consistency.
Like when I've been editing these and putting them, I think like 3 through 7, they all just like move around with each other, and then 8 and 9, the guy in eighth place sneaks up to 7, the guy in ninth falls out, 10th goes up a
Yeah,
spot. And then
that's
the week
Means
my
more
after,
edit
that guy who was in ninth that fell out came back in.
means more editing for you.
Yeah. At least those ones are easy.
Well, it would have been easy if Denver would have won. They would have easily jumped in the number 10 spot. But now, who is it?
Um, if you had them in your top 10 last week, I think they'll probably fall to 10. I'm thinking Atlanta.
That's what I'm thinking.
Say, because I think Atlanta was like 6th or something, maybe 7th last week. I think that Atlanta might fall to 10. But I'll give you a little one right here. I think you sneak Arizona in.
They are
Honestly,
looking
I'd put
pretty
them at
good, aren't
12.
they?
11 or
Arizona, who
12.
I think is tied in the division with the Niners and just had a
No, they're
massive.
leading the division.
I think it's a tie. They have the same record.
No, Arizona is at 6-4. 49ers is at 5-4.
Well, okay, Arizona hasn't had their bye yet, so I guess you can
No.
put Arizona there. But I need the Niners to win that division. But hey, man, the whole Kyler Murray Call of Duty thing, they're 3-0 since Call of Duty's dropped.
They're looking like a good team this year. Or is it just my imagination?
I think it's just the teams that they've been playing. You
Okay.
know, I think you take away the win against the Niners because of CMC being out, Debo being out. I think Kittle was injured that game. And then, they played the Jets, they played the Bears, they played, I think, the Raiders. They played Seattle during their downfall. They played the Rams who didn't have Puka and uh Cooper. I'm not trying to discredit the Cardinals, but they've been playing some pretty easy teams right now.
I don't know. Sounds like you just discredited them pretty well there.
Look, man,
Wow.
I need the Niners to win that division.
There you go. He's getting about that bet again.
Hey, man, it's what's gonna give me my money that I lost during this injury.
Well, I bet.
But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you guys did enjoy this week's episode. If you did, comment down below what part you like. Tell us your in and outs. Give us an in and out. Maybe it'll be featured in next week's episode, and maybe we'll put a little screenshot of your comment on the screen too. But other than that, that's basically it from me. So I'll send it on over to Pat.
Um, Detroit, I needed you to win by more than 3.5 points, and you only won by 3. And you made me lose out. Not on a lot of money. It was only $39, but it's
That's
still
$39 you didn't
39
have.
bucks. Yeah. So I still got you number one though. I won't take it too personally. Tank, I'm sorry that you have to witness what you witnessed on Sunday.
I'm over it. I'm not
Yeah.
even caring about the Cowboys. It's to the point where I'm going for the Baltimore this whole rest of the
Hey,
season.
man, that $39 could have went towards closing the Dallas Cowboys stadium.
Don't even get me started on that. Don't even get me started on that. Mike McCarthy, don't get me started on anything about Jerry Jones. And I see now can't think about anything.
I don't know. I still think last week you had Dak mouthing "We suck, man," and then this week you got CeeDee Lamb mouthing "I can't see the sun."
And he started to mouth. Did you see him cover his mouth because he started mouthing something and then realized he was on the jump? So he was like, "Oh."
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my favorite when they're like talking crap and then they're like, "Oh." Like
Burner didn't see that.
who was it? It was in the Bengals game. No, it was last night at the at the Dolphins game when they were talking about Jason Sanders and how 3 of his family members were veterans, and you just see them getting real close with the camera, and he's just like,
Nah, I didn't.
like you can clearly tell the cameraman is like standing real close to his face, and he's just like,
Yeah.
All right, Tank, sign it off.
I love that I get to go at the very end. I just want to say that because you can follow us on the good old X, aka FKA ARTA, Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Once we hit 100 subscribers on our YouTube page, one of those lucky subscribers will win a prize from yours truly, Tim Tank and Pat. And you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Yeah, like Tim said, comment below. Let us know what your favorite segment is and what you liked about it. Don't forget this Thursday or Thursday, maybe Friday, you'll be seeing a new hot take out on the TikTok page. So don't forget to hit over there and follow us. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification, and hit it all so you know when we post something. Other than that, I will be seeing you all next week. Tank signing off. Peace, y'all.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye.